First at noon, nearly 3,000 crews locally and across the country are in Tulsa today. Oklahomans are stationed in El Paso at the U.S.-Mexico border assisting Texas National Guardsmen. Now to the state capitol, where Governor Kevin Stitt continues his criticism of the 2024 fiscal budget.
Just want to say this snow that's falling right now is great, so let the kids go out and play.
Crews are starting to clean up the debris. For the first time since last weekend's deadly storm, we are hearing from Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt. Officials haven't said who exactly made that call. He's allowing the budget to become law, but is refusing to sign it. Every cadet class that goes through the Tulsa Police Academy is trained on how to respond to active shooter situations. And it sounds like this might be a great time to hop on a plane and fly somewhere with better weather. Annie, is it going to be a beautiful day for that or what?
A lot of people, even my own mother, just text me saying, hey, is it going to rain on my planes today?
I hope not. It's football season, so hopefully that means colder weather as well. And maybe it'll just keep going down from there.
Yeah,
maybe Tornado Alley will shift and not include us anymore. Now at 5, devastation on Maui as the death toll continues to rise. We hear from the state's governor as crews search for the missing. Plus, a Tulsa police officer shot early this morning. What we know from investigators as a routine traffic stop turned violent. And Oklahoma National Guardsmen working to protect our nation's border. Our Brody Myers was in El Paso and brings us the latest on those efforts.
You're watching 2 News Oklahoma at 5.
Good evening, and thank you so much for being here at 5. I'm Shea Smith. Sharon Phillips has the night off. An officer-involved shooting is under investigation in South Tulsa. 2 News Oklahoma's Samson Tomajani has more from the Southern Hillview neighborhood and says at least 2 people were sent to the hospital. Thank you, Samson. Well, this evening, we're bringing you to the U.S.-Mexico border in El Paso, where 51 Oklahoma National Guardsmen are stationed, helping the state of Texas with border control. 2 News Oklahoma's Brody Myers traveled to El Paso and spoke with Robert Hinton from Broken Arrow. Brody, what did you learn on your trip there? Recovery efforts continue on Maui, where the death toll has now reached at least 93 following this week's wildfires. According to the National Fire Protection Association, the Lahaina fire is now the 5th deadliest wildfire in U.S. history. Right now, crews are working to identify victims with fears the death toll could rise even further as they dig through the rubble. Mike Valerio is in Maui with the latest. Well, now to some big political news this evening. Tulsa County Commissioner Karen Keith is running for mayor here in Tulsa. She has been the county commissioner for District 2 since 2008 and is currently serving her 4th term. Longtime viewers may know Karen Keith from her time here at Channel 2. She was with KJRH as an anchor and reporter until 2002 when she left to work for the Tulsa mayor at that time, Bill of Fortune. Karen joins State House Representative Monroe Nichols, who to date is the only other candidate to officially declare their run. Current Mayor G.T. Bynum has already said he will not seek another term. The Tulsa mayoral election is scheduled just a little over a year from now on August 27th, 2024. Kids are getting ready for back to school with a fresh hairdo. Today, Tulsa Tech gave out free haircuts to students. Barber and cosmetology students, as well as other local stylists, provided the free haircuts. We talked with Tulsa Tech's master barber, who says the event is meant to help both the parents and their kids.
Knowing how expensive haircuts can be, and even making an appointment just before school, we know sometimes it's hard for parents to get in. So by us offering free haircuts for this back to school event really gives a parent a break. It gives the student an opportunity to have that confidence that they need before they go to school without waiting around for a barber or in a barber shop or paying those expensive prices for a haircut right now this time of the year.
Not only did the kids get a fresh haircut, they also got school supplies and other back-to-school necessities. The event ran until 4 at the Tulsa Tech North Peoria campus. And this is a big week for students all over Green Country, and 2 News has you covered. We'll have live team coverage from several districts in the area as they welcome students and staff back for another school year. On Wednesday, our morning anchors, Corey Duke and Justin Fisher, will be live in the field before the bells ring at Broken Arrow and Union. Canyon. Tahlequah and Ulaga-Talala also start that day. On Thursday, several other schools will return as well. Corey will be covering TPS as teachers and students head back during what's been an intense summer for the district. Justin will be in Bixby, one of the fastest growing districts in the area, and evening anchor Naomi Kitt will be joining the morning team on Thursday. She'll be live from Jinx. Thursday also marks the return to class for Claremore, Coweta, Owasso, and Sapulpa. 2 News is your place for all things back to school, though. So from school safety to ways to make that return to learn as smooth as possible, we've got you covered. Go to the back to school page on KJRH.com. We put up links to your school's homepage and a calendar of important dates. Just ahead, a Positively Oklahoma update you will not want to miss. One group is expanding so much they're putting out a call for more volunteers. How you can help this exceptional team. Plus, it's mid-August and one movie is still #1, 4 weeks after its release. We take a look at the weekend box office numbers just ahead. Michael Brown started his career in law enforcement in 1995. He spent 22 years with the Tulsa Police Department.
I had never thought that there was any better calling than being there when people needed you.
Now, he's a senior instructor for Tulsa Tech's criminal justice program. Like most who work in law enforcement, Brown says wearing the badge is rewarding, but along with rewards come challenges.
Hurt children, hurt people, and you just see the results and what it does to families and what it does to people and how it changes their trajectory in life.
In 2012, Brown confronted one of those challenges. A man had been shot and killed by police. Brown had to notify the family.
Yeah, that's an extraordinarily difficult thing to go and tell people that their family members are gone.
As Brown told the man's wife about his death, the man's daughter stood there as well.
There was an elementary school age sorry. There was an elementary school aged young girl there, and I didn't at the time I did not think much of it, but I didn't realize how important she'd be to me later.
This past week, 9 men and women were the first class to graduate from the Tulsa County Sheriff's Office's new academy. One of those deputies, Aaliyah Sanchez. She was also a student of Brown's at Tulsa Tech.
My father was shot and killed by a police officer. At first I was angry about it. I didn't understand, but I realized that instead of being angry, I could do something myself about it. I can be that change.
So what you could call a coincidence, or maybe fate, in a classroom at Tulsa Tech wasn't the first time Brown and Sanchez's paths crossed. Deputy Sanchez was that elementary school-aged girl Brown remembered from 11 years ago.
He told me, he was like, yeah, I know about that. I worked that case. I was a supervisor on that case.
Throughout heartbreak and difficulties came an unforeseen friendship.
In a way, I feel like I was destined to meet him so I can be where I am now. Because without him, I wouldn't be where I am.
You have the choice to go down a path that's going to lead you to lack of a future, or you can lead yourself to a path that leads you to a pretty great future.
And a life lesson to learn. You control your own destiny through tragedy, pain, and triumph.
In a way, it was also my father making sure, he put him in my path so I can do good.
In Tulsa, Shea Smith, 2 News, Oklahoma.
We wouldn't have survived that, I don't think, if we were not in our shelter.
Shane, his wife Becca, and their 2 children have lived outside of Noble in their camper for almost a year on their homestead. But after Wednesday night's storms, the life they've spent months building was instantly changed.
All of our ears got pressurized and wouldn't stop pressurizing. And so that was kind of the telltale sign that this wasn't just a really windy storm. Standifer
says the storm began with large hail, then the wind picked up. He says they were in the shelter for about an hour before the worst part of the storm came through.
You just started seeing all the wind just pick up massively. And I mean, the cliche is always like it sounds like a train, and that's exactly right.
The Standifers and another family took shelter here in this storm shelter. When the storm passed and they came out, they found that almost everything on their property had been destroyed.
And we opened it up, and just being able to see as far as we did, the first thing, we're like, oh my goodness, it's all gone. Like, we expected there to be trees down and stuff like that, but there was just nothing there.
Parts of their homes scattered across the land, their children's clothes tangled in branches, and a bathtub blown into a tree.
We didn't know where our campers were at all. They were all way down over here, and so just opening up and not seeing anything in front of us was just, it was so eerie.
Right now, the Standifers are staying in hotels and with friends, not sure if and when they'll return to the homestead they were building.
It'll be a long time before we end up getting back out here. You know, that's one of the things where it's like, you know, we wanted to be out here with our best friends and be able to do this together, raise our kids together. And so we're not sure yet.
But the most important things are still standing.